From the crisis at our border to the sweltering heat and wildfires, there are a lot of heated topics being discussed across Texas.
That is right. Joining us now live is our governor to address those concerns and give us an update about the state's response. So, Governor, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. First question. We're only a couple of months into summertime right now, and ERCOT already issuing a voluntary energy conservation request. How do you reassure Texans who have doubts about the state's grid's reliability?
You know, we've seen record after record after record of skyrocketing temperatures and demands on our grid, and the grid has performed without flaw all summer long. And so it shows that the changes that we made during the course of the legislative session to make the grid more resilient has been able to withstand these record-setting demands every single day.
Governor Abbott, you know, deadly wildfires are starting to break out across Texas, including here in East Texas. We're all praying that it won't be as bad as 2011. We'll see if that happens. But can you tell us how the state is supporting crews battling these wildfires and what resources are available for Texans who have lost everything already?
Sure. So listen, I've already deployed resources across the entire state because, as you point out, fires are flaring up in multiple regions, including dangers in East Texas. And so we've deployed the Texas Division of Emergency Management and their full resources, which includes the Texas Forestry Service as well as firefighters from across the state to make sure that they will be able to save property, but also, most importantly, save lives. And so we always want to use this as an opportunity to remind the audience that your property is very important, but your life is far more important. We'll try to save your property, but most importantly, heed the advice of your local officials so you make sure that you save your own life.
The ongoing crisis at the border is going to be a very hot topic in the upcoming election. What are you doing to secure the border moving ahead?
So this is a crisis caused by President Biden. Remember, just 2 years ago, we had the most secure border in decades. And now, under President Biden, we have the highest number of border crossings in history. And Texas has done more than any state in the history of the United States to secure our border. I've deployed the National Guard, who are on the border as we speak right now, as well as DPS officers. Texas is building its own border wall. We're laying down Constantine razor wire to prevent illegal immigrants from getting into our state. But also the National Guard, they are turning back illegal immigrants who are trying to get across the border. But if they do make it across the border, we are arresting them and sending them to jail. For those who have been processed by the Border Patrol and released into the state, many of those are on buses to Washington, D.C.
And speaking of Washington, D.C., we've been hearing from immigrant advocacy groups up there saying that they're running out of resources. The mayor of D.C., she says that this is a federal issue. She doesn't have any money. What do you say to all of them up there who say they don't have any resources?
Yeah, well, they need to call Joe Biden. This is Joe Biden's fault, and Joe Biden needs to fix it.
Yeah, I've seen those. In fact, just a couple of moments ago for our B-roll there, we showed those white buses that were going up there that you're paying for. And again, it was kind of funny yesterday on one of the cable outlets to see one of the news anchors interview some of the neighbors up there and some of the mayors. And they say, well, we feel like we're being overwhelmed. And I kept thinking about Greg Abbott would like to call them and go, how do you think we feel in Texas? Because now immigration is just not a Texas, New Mexico, Arizona thing, is it?
Well, that's exactly right. And the people in Washington, D.C. seem to have a different standard. They think that it's okay to have the open border situation as long as it remains in places like Texas. We wanted to make sure that because Joe Biden has never come to the border, we want to take the border to Joe Biden and let them understand what we are having to deal with right here. And they are only dealing with about the number of migrants that we have come across our border per day. And because of that, there will be many more that will be bused to Washington, D.C., and they are going to increasingly have to grapple with the challenges that we face in Texas until we have Washington, D.C. finally step up and do its job and secure the border and enforce the laws passed by the United States Congress.
I think they're finally realizing a message received up there. Governor Abbott, meanwhile, back here in Texas, the school massacre in Uvalde, it is still weighing on the hearts of so many, especially all of us parents as we try to prepare to send our children back to school next month. What changes have been made on the state level, and what plans do you still hope to implement to prevent something this horrific from ever happening again?
So what's most urgent for us right now is to make sure that we're working with schools across the state to make sure that they're going to be as safe as possible, and that students, teachers, and parents will know that they're safe. And so I've deployed the Texas Education Agency, the Texas School Safety Center, as well as the ALERT program to work with school police as well as local law enforcement to make sure they're all working together to make sure that their school is going to be as safe as it possibly can. We want our parents and our students and our teachers to feel very confident. I want to also let you know about something that we have invested in before, that we increase over the course of the summertime, and that is to help our students. Students oftentimes have mental health challenges that are kind of unknown. We've deployed healthcare resources to make sure that they're going to have assessment as well as treatment that will address needs that kids have that sometimes, if they're not met, could turn into very serious problems.
Governor, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you all very much.